Alright, this is going to be a demonstration for how to do the 1 point perspective drawing. Okay, so today we're just going to get started with your 1 point perspective drawing, and we're actually going to follow this worksheet that I'm going to hand out to you guys. So basically this worksheet, I really like the way you get started with the 1 point perspective. So you kind of just start off with like a big X, and then you add some lines. But basically you go through like each of these steps to kind of like create your own cityscape drawing. Okay, so we're gonna like follow these steps though, but obviously, I want you to do something a little bit more elaborate than what's on the back of the page. But I really like this drawing assignment because it's very, very easy and simple to understand. And this is originally like a sub-work assignment, but I actually like to use this as a starting point, at least to learn how to do the 1 point perspective. So it's a little hard to see what these pictures are, and it's really not too important to read what these instructions are specifically, but you just want to pay attention to what's in these boxes, these pictures. Okay, but eventually though, like when you guys get to the last part here, you can go more creative, more stylized with the drawing. So we're not really trying to create like realistic 1 point perspective drawings. The idea is not really to capture the realism in the drawing, but I want you guys to kind of create your own interesting cities that you want to make. All right, but don't worry too much about accuracy. The only thing that's you just want to make sure to do is you want to make sure to follow the directions, and just make sure the lines, the 1 point perspective looks correct. Okay, but yeah, just to get started though, real easy. We're gonna follow those same steps, and the worksheet's there just to guide you again. But basically, what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do like that big X in the middle, and real important for I want to say like 90 to 85% of your drawing, you will have to use the ruler. Okay, there's not really any shortcut way of creating straight lines. You have to use the ruler for this project. Okay, so that's one big grade is making sure to use the rulers to create nice and clean lines. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of like eyeball like the middle, because obviously I can go from one corner to the other, so I'm going to guess it like right here. This is kind of like the center, so I'm going to make a line here. I'm going to continue that line all the way to the edge of the page. Okay, hopefully you guys can see the lines that I'm making. If not, I'm going to darken it a little bit so you guys can see. Okay, so you can see a little bit better now. Now my lines don't look as dark as this though, but you real important. Make sure to draw lightly with the pencil, because we're gonna have to do a lot of erasing and a lot of changing to the drawing as we continue further and further with the drawing. So I'm just gonna do from one corner there, and then again I'm eyeballing where the center is, and we're gonna do one corner from here. Okay, if you don't get it directly in the middle, it's fine. Just get it as close as you can. Even with my lines, it's not going exactly from corner to corner. There's a little gap in between. Okay, that's totally fine though. So just like what we looked at in the warm-up last class, and what you guys did for your practice, our vanishing point is perfectly in the middle of the picture, or close to the middle. Okay, so just bear that in mind. This 1 point perspective drawing though, there's not really a lot of freedom with where you can create the 1 point perspective part. Okay, so we just created that X there, and then the next part is we're going to create vertical lines. Because see, these are lines that go up and down, and these are going to be basically where your buildings are going to be. Okay, so I'm going to do one line here, one line there, and again I'm drawing very, very lightly because I'm going to make some changes or adjustments to these buildings. Some buildings I might want to make longer, and then other buildings I might want to make shorter than where they are. So I'm going to do same thing over here, and it doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle. If you want to, you can make some a little bit longer, some shorter, but I want you to just draw some vertical lines. Again, it help you with these vertical lines because you don't want to draw like lines that are crooked like this. Okay, I would go to the edge of the page, Yeah, this is a perfect horizontal or vertical line right here. Okay, so you want to just line that line up with, the same line here, because you don't want to make it crooked or this. It's gonna look awkward and weird if you do that. And then you can kind of like eyeball like that same line over here. Okay, but real important though, these have to be perfect vertical lines. Okay, I know some of you guys in your practices you had like lines that are a little bit diagonal or off to the side. If these aren't perfectly vertical, then it's gonna look a little weird. So after you're done with that part, then the next part is we're gonna actually create the sidewalk. So from the vanishing point here to over here, we're gonna create a diagonal line. Okay, and make sure to leave some space to like a big enough gap where it's like this looks like a sidewalk here, and we do the same thing on the other side. And try your best to get the same length. If you can't get the same, it's okay. You just gotta get close enough to it. So we got one line here, one line there. This is gonna be our top of our sidewalks. And then the next part is we're gonna do another line here from the middle. Again, I'm doing it from the vanishing point, and there's gonna be a little bit of a gap too over here. So we're gonna do one line here, and then we're gonna do one more over here. Okay, it should be real easy though. You're just following directions. There's not really any trick to this. I want to clean up this line a little bit more. Okay, I guess this is best as it gets. Okay, and then from this point here, then we're going to actually kind of skip the step from like what's on here though. But from the step before though, you had to make horizontal lines. Okay, so these are lines that go left and right. So when I say horizontal, this is left and right. Vertical is up and down. Okay, but just like how I did before with the using the edge of the paper. Okay, so just remember like the edge of the paper here. This is like a perfect horizontal line here, and just like the edge of this is a perfect vertical. So we're just gonna draw some horizontal lines. I'm gonna draw only on the sidewalk part. So we're gonna do one here, one there, and I just do from one side here, one side there. It should look like this when you're done. And as it's going up higher, it's going to get smaller and smaller. Okay, so just remember like what we learned before from your handscape drawings. And again, I would just try to line up like the line below it. As things go further back into the vanishing point, further back into space, it's going to get smaller and smaller. So I'm just going to gradually make the sidewalk smaller. And again, I'm drawing very, very lightly with a pencil. Just in case I mess up, I can always erase it and clean it up. Okay, really do take your time. Even like with mine, I'm taking my time. I'm not trying to rush things. And this drawing, you have to really take your time because all these lines have to be perfectly even. If you have any lines that are uneven, it's gonna look weird, and you aren't gonna be happy with it. All right, so these lines will keep going further and further back into space. I'm actually just gonna hand draw these lines. So after a certain point, though, it's just like literally you're just drawing. It's just some straight lines. So this one I'll get just freehanded because it's very short lines. But I'm just kind of sketching these lines. And again, my sidewalks aren't going to go all the way like this. I'm going to change up a little bit in the drawing. And then from here, okay, so you have your horizontal line here, and now we have to draw the vertical line. So this is going to make it look a little bit more 3D. So again, you want to try to line it up with this part here. And we're just going to just draw the little, I'll say it's like the little hump, or the bezel on the side of the sidewalk. After a certain point, you can just freehand it. So, it's just like a little line you're drawing. Alright, same thing over here too. Just gonna have it go on this side here. And, if you really aren't comfortable to using a ruler, it's really easy. You just gotta put pressure on the ruler, and then you use your other hand to just make the mark. Ruler, make the mark. All right. Just gonna freehand these ones smaller. All right. Yeah, that's how you get to the sidewalk part. Okay, and then the last step is just literally just adding doors, windows, and stuff. But I'm actually gonna save that for another video. Getting to this part is kind of like several steps that we're doing. So yeah, we'll save that for like another video.